Southern California visit for President Biden, why the commander-in-chief will be here. Early allergies, why the season is coming sooner this year and what you can do to prepare. Hello, everyone. You're watching The Rundown. I'm Robin Winston. Expect extra heavy traffic next week. President Biden will be in town. The White House says the president will visit Monterey Park on Tuesday. He's expected to highlight his efforts to reduce gun violence and renew his calls for an assault weapons ban. This will be President Biden's first visit to the LA area in more than 4 months. Authorities are still busy trying to help those people who have been cut off and trapped indoors because of all the snow. At least 12 people have died in San Bernardino mountain communities since the unrelenting snowstorms hit. We know one was a traffic accident. The sheriff's department has received multiple calls requesting someone to check on their loved ones. Well, now some are feeling a bit worried about the next storm.
Power being off has been really difficult. Thankfully, the people who lived in our house before had left a bunch of wood underneath the house, so we were at least able to get some warmth. If that hadn't been for that, then it would have been really cold.
The California National Guard and CAL FIRE crews from across the state are working to clear as much snow as possible before the next storm arrives. Skiers and snowboarders who are stoked about all that fresh snow can finally get to the resort. Big Bear Mountain Ski Resort is now back open to visitors. Big Bear says it's gotten 204 inches of snow so far this season. Wow. Getting there is still going to be tricky, folks, but it's definitely possible. Highway 18 has reopened from Lucerne Valley, but Highway 330 and Highway 18 running through Big Bear remain closed. We're not done with the wet weather just yet. No. There's more on the way. So let's check in with meteorologist Belen De Leon. She's timing it out for us.
Hi, everyone. Well, our stormy winter continues. On Thursday, we have sunshine temperatures at 68, but rain returns to the area on Friday when temperatures drop into the 50s. So not only is it going to be soggy, but it's also going to be colder by about 10 degrees as we finish off the work week. Rain amounts are going to be between 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch for most places. But in Ventura County, that's where we could get 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches and possibly even more in the mountains. So the temperatures are coming down. We're headed for chillier days ahead. Not only that, look at the chance of rain in Los Angeles. It's going to be high on Friday. That's when we could get the most rain, but the chance for rain will continue into the weekend, and we're tracking another storm by next week. So leave the umbrellas out and be safe.
LA Mayor Karen Bass went to the hospital Wednesday night to talk to 2 of 3 officers injured in a shooting.
The 2 officers that I talked to are strong. The questions that they asked me was about their colleagues that were still out there looking for the suspect. So, you know, like you would expect, they weren't concerned about themselves. They were concerned about their colleagues that they knew were still out in the field.
The officers were in Lincoln Heights for a parolee investigation. Officers say they used gas to try to take the suspect into custody, but he responded by opening fire on them. Hours after the officers were shot, the suspected shooter was found dead. The manhunt is over for the attacker wanted in 2 violent stabbings. One of the victims was a student in El Sereno, just waiting to be picked up after school. Police arrested 32-year-old David Zapata following a 2-hour standoff at his home in Alhambra. Last Friday, investigators say Zapata fatally stabbed a 17-year-old Woodrow Wilson High School student outside of a restaurant in El Sereno. Then a second person a few miles away. That second victim survived the attack. The stabbing sparked an intense manhunt that ended in an arrest. The federal corruption trial of suspended LA City Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas continues in a downtown LA courtroom. During opening statements Wednesday, prosecutors told jurors that Ridley Thomas steered county contracts to USC's social work school in exchange for benefits for his son. At the time, he served on the county board of supervisors, but the defense countered that he did nothing illegal. Ridley Thomas has pleaded not guilty to conspiracy, bribery, mail, and wire fraud charges. The White House is urging states to join the crackdown on so-called junk fees, or surprise additional fees on everything from airline tickets to student loans to concert seats. Federal officials hosted a viral meeting with hundreds of state legislators calling on them to take action. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has already proposed a rule to cut most credit card late fees. The Department of Transportation proposed a rule that airlines need to disclose all fees up front. Some 30,000 LA Unified School District workers are another step closer to a strike. The union representing the employees has notified the district that the workers wish to end their contract in the next 10 days and walk away from their jobs. The employees, like cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and custodians, are demanding equitable pay raises, more full-time work, and increased staffing levels. LAUSD says it's disappointed the union is walking away from the negotiations despite the district offering a 15% wage increase. The nation's second largest school district warns a strike would cause a significant disruption to instruction. LA County health officials are sounding the alarm about a rising overdose risk linked to the animal sedative xylazine.
And so when it gets mixed with opioids like fentanyl or heroin, it can boost the overdose causing effects. It can essentially get people to stop breathing. And in addition to its overdose effect, it also can drop people's heart rate or blood pressure. So it is a relatively toxic drug.
Xylazine, also known by the street name trank or zombie drug, is used by veterinarians, but the drug is not intended for humans. It's been found mixed in street drugs in San Francisco and San Diego, and officials are confident the drug is in LA as well. There's a new way for students, staff, and parents to report safety concerns at Los Angeles Unified Schools, and it's 100% anonymous. It's called Los Angeles Schools Anonymous Reporting, or LASER. It can be used to report everything from graffiti to vaping on campus, social media threats, or a student talking about bringing a weapon to class. The app may alert LAUSD police officers, psychiatric social workers, or the LAPD. The superintendent says the idea is to increase public safety in and around our schools. Well, you might have been hearing about the early return of allergy season. In fact, many health officials are already telling families to prepare for symptoms to start kicking in. I'm not ready for this. Well, take a look at this map. It shows springtime has already arrived in the mid-Atlantic and northeast regions. But if you look at our area, spring is actually expected to come a little later. But with the exceptionally wet winter we've seen this season, it's expected to have an effect on the pollen count we see in the spring. And that means more sneezing, coughing, and watery eyes are on the way.
I would definitely recommend to anybody who does have allergies to stay on top of it, because it's the only way that I survive the season.
Well, here's some advice from the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. You can start taking allergy treatments now before pollen season begins. And they say most allergy treatments work best when taken this way because this stops your body from releasing histamine that causes your symptoms. That makes sense. A 17-year-old baseball player from Arcadia is an inspiration to anyone dealing with debilitating medical conditions. So Jacob Duhamel is a baseball star from Temple City High School. He pitched a no-hitter last year. You may not know just by looking at him, but since he was 10 days old, Jacob has been suffering from a neurological condition. Now, despite countless procedures since he was a baby, Jacob still suffers from paralyzing headaches that require days or even weeks of hospitalization. But his love of baseball is what keeps him going.
Where I was in pain, and then I kind of just had to wait it out because of the infection. So that whole time waiting it out, I was seeing my friends out at baseball and like everyone at school and stuff, and that was just a big motivation for me to get back.
If I could take it away, I would. I say that all the time to him. The strength that he has is amazing. He's my hero.
It is amazing and an inspiration. The Duhamel family has a motto. They say good days outweigh the bad days, so just take it one day at a time. Also, lean on your family for support because it really does take a village. And I agree, together we can make it happen. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4 weekdays 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with the traffic reports throughout the morning. I'll see you next time on The Rundown.